the glutes maybe not getting as much focus on, as much action because we're doing a lot of sitting. So every area of the body will have a focus. Hey everyone, I'm Jess, founder of Free Your Body, Move Your Mind. Welcome to week 3 of my postpartum recovery program. And this series is very accessible, easy to follow. It's wonderful if you are at weeks 3, even 4 or 5 in your postpartum healing. Very gentle and very functional. It sets the foundation if, like, let's say at this point, you're maybe feeling energized and you're ready to maybe take on a little bit more of your daily functions. You may already have children at home, so the actions of lifting, balancing, even just having to focus, and we may be standing a little bit more, twisting, a little more weight-bearing lifting. This gives us a way that we can mindfully practice it here presently, but also allowing our mind to have a chance to just be here, be now, and focus on just letting go with our breathing and drawing up the energy that we need. I'm going to continue this series with using something soft and cushiony like a pillow, just to help with holding for inner thigh work. We will be doing a little bit of standing, getting off of the floor today, and the exercises kind of do build off of one another, but like I said, you can pick up at any point. Before I ramble on too much, we will start breathing and moving, and I will talk you through it as we go. If you don't have a pillow, that is totally fine also. So I am in this seated position. I feel comfortable with this open leg position, still giving you the opportunity to invite you to sit in any position that you'd like. Seated in a chair, you can also extend the legs forward. But we are going to start with some nice deep breaths and how they naturally flow in and flow out. If you do want to close your eyes, just get in that nice relaxing state. And if you're feeling more in tune with your abdominals, you can try and draw them in a little bit more. Think about, it's like you're putting on a pair of pants, zipping up here, pulling up. It's a little bit more in tune with your core, starting with maybe some strengthening of the pelvic floor, but very easy and very gentle, and that is the way to really go. Sometimes we jump right back or want to jump right back into these deeper and more complex exercises. And sometimes simple and more gentle is more good. And then we'll bring the arms down by our sides and shoulders nice and relaxed. We'll start to lift. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, release down. And you can follow with the flow of your breath or however it naturally flows for you. So yeah, just kind of weaving in some concepts of, we think we need to be bouncing back so quickly, and we need to really listen to our bodies. I always feel like the more simple, kind of less is more philosophy really helps with things in life, especially recovery, when we really should be taking it slow. We should be laying down, resting, sitting. And if you're comfortable here, we'll take it into a twist now. Finding that rotation that your back can support, the hips can support. These really do lay down the stepping stones for the bigger exercises. And I see this a lot of time, not even with prenatal or postnatal, really just understanding how to connect with their body on a deeper, more meaningful level, but in a simple way. All right. And with these twists here, thinking about how when we were growing baby in the belly, movement was a little bit maybe more shallow, softer, more subtle. Perhaps we didn't do any twists at all. And even at this point in postpartum, postpartum, listen to your body. It's nice to sometimes wake up the hips and the low back. And let's do one more time to that final side. Good. So you're still leaving in those nice deep breaths. So we're going to focus a little bit more today on opening the upper body, because by week 3 we are probably doing, if we're bottle feeding, breastfeeding, pumping, we're sitting a lot. We may be, if we're able to read a book, or I'm on my phone sometimes a lot during this point, which is, it's really nice, really wonderful. Sometimes we do get tightness here and we want to open up, so this is a great exercise. Try and relax your jaw as well when doing this. So you're going to reach, send up your right shoulder, draw it on down, and then we'll just gently turn the head over to the left, not forcing anything. So I'm trying to rely not so much on the muscles, but I'm rotating from the bones of the spine, from the vertebrae, upper vertebrae here. And it's nice to relax the jaw. I find that I do clench my jaw a lot. I started at my 3rd trimester grinding my teeth again a little bit more, and I find that, I'm getting obviously the shorter stretches of sleep with my newborn, and I have my toddler sometimes that I'm, checking up on at night. So I find that I do clench my teeth and grind my teeth a little bit. We'll do the other side. So it's just very nice to give all of those areas a chance to release. And the more that you can practice, the more you can incorporate into daily functions, and then it just becomes a nice habit that you've brought in and a nice part of your lifestyle. Inhales and exhales. It's good to focus on different places of the body, because we really need to focus on working from head to toe, and also working from the inside out as well. So instead of making movements super big, super intense, we're focusing on the subtleties. All right, so the next piece is we are going to come to a tabletop. We started to work on setting up for cat and cow type movements. We'll spread through the fingers, and you can either relax your toes here or tuck. I'm going to tuck this time. It's a nice stretch, I find, for my calves, because at this point too, I find that, up on my feet a little bit more, but I'm not doing as much walking as I did before, just because I'm sitting a lot, so my legs actually get really tight, so it's a good stretch. So in neutral spine, let's just take a few deep breaths. So I'm going to relax my belly, and then inhale, draw in. And it's not about forcing, it's not about, how far you can go and how intense. You want to listen to your body, making sure we're not locking in any of the joints here. Good. And then we're going to give a nice cat spine here. And in the cat, we'll take a couple deep breaths. And just notice the positioning of the belly, the ribs a little bit different, and not forcing this position too much. And then if we're able to give a little bit of that cow position, not too much here. And inhales, exhales. So I'm making mine really small, and because the movement had changed during my pregnancy, it might not be at the same kind of range. Good. And then from here, relax the toes, and then just shift a little bit forward and back. Right. So that was maybe the first piece of weight bearing that you've done on the hands and knees. And we're gonna roll on up, and we'll just bring the hands to the low back, if that's okay. Sending the hips forward, looking up where the wall and the ceiling meet in this gentle camel, and just to give a little pressure off of the wrists and forearms. At week 4, and it's good week 4 or 5, or sometimes waiting for that week 6 of postpartum, we will be doing a full bird dog, but we're just going to focus on the arms and then a little piece to help with the legs. So the goal is to keep nice neutral spine, dialing in the abdominals, maybe a little squeeze to the glutes, and the glutes will have a day that we'll focus on too, because a lot of sitting, sometimes we lose those muscles. So in this neutral spine position, we spread through the fingers. We're just gonna reach one arm forward, inhale, and exhale, place it down, and then switch. So I talked a little bit about the legs, the calves, the glutes, maybe not getting as much focus on, as much action because we're doing a lot of sitting. So every area of the body will have a focus, and it's wonderful that we do focus on the core and the pelvic floor muscles. Those are always incorporated, but thinking about the areas that get neglected, and then also, you know, this first weight bearing on the arms. Good. And then we're gonna roll on up and bring the hands to the low back, press the hips on forward, just nice and gentle. Open up that heart space, send yourself some love. Here we're getting very close to the month of February, so thinking about that month of love. Then we'll come back. And we're gonna send one leg back, toes touch the floor, and we're just gonna shift a little forward and back. So this is a wonderful way to start building up that strength again for your tabletop position, for your cat and cows, for your bird dogs. This will help set yourself up for plank, for push-up. If that is a goal of something that you're working on towards, you know, as you get a little bit stronger and you get that clearance, and you're feeling you want to try it out, we'll switch. But very gentle weight bearing. I know for me with my first, after my first pregnancy with my daughter, I sort of tried to hop right back in. I waited. I did a lot of walking. It was during the summer, hotter months, and it really flew by, and I was just learning how to be a new mom. I was dealing with different, you know, postpartum things. Let's just stretch it out as I keep on talking a little more. But I was trying to, you know, find my way, and then I tried to just jump right back in, and something like bird dog for me, where I was alternating arms and legs, I found really challenging for me. So I had to build up that strength, and I kind of wish I progressed into it nice and easy like this. So lesson learned, and hopefully giving you the opportunity to try. So we're gonna come down to the back. Let's place the pillow, if you have it, between the inner thighs. And we're gonna come to the back, and let's fill out the back along the floor. The tailbone is kind of tucked, pelvis is kind of tucked, and we're emphasizing sending the legs together. Try not to think about squeezing or tightening, but really just drawing in so there's nice energy flowing, so we're not cutting off or feeling like we're locking up any of these areas of the body. Okay, so keeping the legs in this position, sending the energy in towards that cushion, we're going to reach the arms overhead, and we'll just bring them on down along by your sides. Press into the feet, and we're focusing also to make contact with the low back on the floor. And when you send your arms overhead, take a nice deep breath. Don't feel like all areas have to touch the floor, touch behind you. But this is really good for, again, those muscles if you've just been sitting, maybe hunching over, maybe we're just, you know, we're lifting in different ways, and it's just good to send some of that open movement into our day. Good. And then we're going to let the arms relax overhead. If you want to have a little bend into the elbows, that's great. We're going to take a deep breath, inhale, and then exhale, really send the legs together, emphasizing bringing the energy towards that cushion. Abdominals are drawing in, and we're pressing the back down. We're tucking the tailbone a little bit here. And then release, inhale, and exhale. So we sort of have like a cat and cow on the floor. If you want to fill out or lift up the small of the back after you fill out, decide what feels comfortable. But these are really wonderful ways, especially with using the inner thighs, because we typically don't use them just because we're not holding something like this in between. But Like I know for me, I'm really finding those abdominals again. Things are resetting in place. I'm thinking about the wonderful, things that our body has done for us, and we're just slowly taking the time to bring things back together. It takes time, so we're appreciating every moment, every step of the way. Good. And then you can release the cushion if you have it, or pillow, place it behind your head, and arms can just be relaxed down by your side. We'll step the feet out, and we're just going to take very tiny twists. So I always like to tell kind of everyone a little bit about, maybe the previous session or what's looking to come. So not so much deep twisting just yet. We will start to explore it. The twists will get bigger as each video goes on, and then those exercises that we just did will lead up into a bridge. So next week we will be doing a bridge, and then also doing the bird jog at week 4. Okay, and then you can find your way onto one side, and then we'll press on up. That was excellent. Okay, so we're gonna come to a seated position here. Legs are extended. You also, I'm gonna offer this if you wanna do it lying down, but we're gonna just try to sit, and you can bring your hands back a tiny bit. This is really great for your hips, really great for your abs. This is kind of the start of it is a strengthener. I don't want you to think it's very strenuous, which it's not. But we'll start to focus to really get the lower abs, the muscles of the pelvic floor, and in relation to strengthening our hip flexors, because our hips have taken a lot during pregnancy, during the act of labor, giving birth, and then postpartum. So trying to sit up nice and tall, and then leaning back a little bit. We're gonna just step the left foot in, and then extend the leg back, and then we'll switch. Okay, so we're doing one leg at a time. This will progress next week, where we will be working with both legs, and then sending both legs out, perhaps leaning back a little bit more. So yeah, nice and easy. And these might be things that you're doing anyway, preparing to get up off of the floor, getting down, getting up. So sometimes we find we're going back in full force with things. I know with me chasing around my toddler, certain things felt a little bit easier, not having the weight of the belly, but then also realizing that I have to get my my core and things back so I can keep up. And let me just show you on the floor so you can rest your head here. So this is what it would look like here on the floor. And if that becomes a lot for the low back, you can start with your legs up here. And that might be a little bit better for your low back. You're doing one leg at a time. All right. And then the last piece, and what's really nice about the videos is you can customize, you can repeat, you can hit, pause, restart it at any point. So I am going to use the cushion for this. This is just wonderful for standing anyway, because we're not walking around with a block or a pillow between the thighs, but it really helps draw everything up. You feel taller, you feel lifted, and it helps with posture. So we're standing about hip distance apart, and thinking about that like 1 or 2 fist distance apart here. And you can spread through the toes. I know my head is sort of cut off. I'm going to come onto my mat again so you can see my feet. And we'll shift a little forward and back. Just thinking about that weight distribution. Just a simple movement. Keeping the energy flowing through the ankles, knees soft. Show you from the side here.
place the hands at the hips. And we're just gonna take a very tiny chair squat. So it's starting off some work for the legs here. When drawing the legs in to this cushion, you have a nice stretch through the back of the lower leg into the kind of Achilles area, into the calves. And again, this is setting the foundation as we get into more complex exercises, movements, maybe some combo moves. Good. And then the last piece I'm going to do to the side here is we'll take from our chair squat, hands can be at the hips or down by your sides. From the chair squat, see if you can come on up to a balance. Now balance always changes, and it definitely changes a lot through being pregnant. You can always hold on to something. I have this ledge here which comes in handy, and our balance is very visually driven, so if you have something you can focus on that's not moving, just very simple shift from your squat up onto the toes. And it's good to work, like I said, from head to toe, so we are working the ankles, the toes, the feet. And this is where we get to really train the mind. We're staying present here. Good. And then we'll release that. You can take the pillow off to the side. And the last thing we're just going to do is tuck the chin in. We'll roll down here. Give yourself a nice stretch. Feel free to bend into the knees, and feels nice and homey and close. And rolling up. And we'll just do 2 more here. One for the body. Rolling down. Take your time enjoying and rolling up. That was one for the mind. And we'll give one last roll down for your energy. For the wonderful energy to create life, to be at the stage in life where you're at. And this is such a wonderful opportunity you're giving yourself, and thanking yourself for joining me here. And stay tuned for more videos to come. Like I said, we'll be building off each one. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. I have my Instagram for your body, move your mind. I'm also found, if you want to send me an email, movewithjessica@gmail.com. All right. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll see you next time. Take care now.